Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and thanks for joining me here today because we have a little something different that we are going to do. So, once I had conducted my dupe foundation test the other day and did the wear test with it, it kind of gave me another idea to do a different type of series on my channel. And also, this series is very inspired by Alex Garza's series, Foundation Friday. I am going to now do a wear test Wednesday. It is trying out so many different foundations that I have. They're not all brand new foundations. Some of them are quite old and some that I've not even wore before. So I thought that we would do a Wear Test Wednesday series and we would try out these foundations, put on a full face of makeup with it, wear it throughout the day and do check-ins and see what the deal is with that foundation, if I like it or if I don't. Now, I have a bunch of foundations that I want to try and just kind of mix it up. Some are high-end, some are drugstore, and kind of do every other video based on that. Like, do drugstore one time and do high-end the next. But the videos will be on Wednesdays, obviously, and I plan on them doing every other Wednesday. Not every consecutive Wednesday, but every other Wednesday. There will be a foundation test and the wear test conducted. So look out for those on my channel. They will be uploaded around 10 a.m. every other Wednesday. And I'll have them in their own little category so you can check those out. But today is going to be the very first one. So let's get started. Now, I just woke up. It's super early and I'm about to get ready for work. And I've already washed my face. I've already moisturized my face. I just need to put on a little bit of primer and then we're going to jump in with our first foundation. And today's foundation is going to be the Maybelline Age Rewind. Now, I have had this one since sometime back in September and I have only used it one time. And to be honest, like you can see that I've used it there, I honestly don't remember how it wore on the skin. I think that when I wore it, it was a very minimal amount of time one day, and I didn't really get to see its full potential. And I know for a fact I did not do a full face of makeup with it. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. I am going to go ahead and start with my foundation and prime my face. I just primed my face using that Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to jump on in and do my foundation because I am going to do the rest of my makeup off of camera. Then I'm going to go get ready for work. And then before I leave, I want to pop back in and do another check-in with you. And my next check-in won't be until kind of later today. I won't get to do that in the middle kind of check-in like I did with the dupe wear test. Because I will be at work, so I cannot film myself. But as soon as I get back from work, I will do a check-in. I'll leave it on a little bit longer, and then I will check in again tonight before I wash my face off. So this one is going to get an absolute full wear test throughout the whole entire day. Let's see. Okay. I picked out a pretty good color. This is a good foundation to wear if you have a headache. That way you can just kind of massage your head. Okay. I probably should have started off a little smaller because I don't know exactly how much of this I'm going to need for it to look normal. Eek. We're just going to go with it because I feel like if I don't use a lot of this, it's going to be pretty sheer coverage. So we'll just go ahead and take the plunge and do half the dang bottle. Okay, I really need to start blending before I do anything else. And I am just using my damp sponge from Morphe. Just to blend this out with a little better. Okay, so from what I see back here, it blends out nicely. I'm kind of excited to pull my mirror a little closer and kind of see how it looks up close. But from back here, that amount that I used was pretty darn good coverage. And it seems to blend out pretty well. The only thing that I think that I am worried about, that I feel like I'm going to run into when I bring my mirror a little closer, is I'm afraid that it's going to look dry on the skin. That's the only thing, because it didn't seem too moisturizing when I was popping it on. That's the only thing that I think that I might run into. But we will see. Okay, now I'm going to pull my mirror just a little bit closer and just kind of see what it looks like on my skin just a little better here. Okay, some spots didn't blend out as well as others. I can definitely tell I was right on that one. It did sort of cling to some dry patches around my nose, especially on my forehead here. That kind of worries me if I go to set it or put any other makeup up there. Some spots it looks nice. I feel like the more, honestly, the more that I look at it and the longer that it's sitting on my skin, I feel like the more that it's soaking down into the skin and just kind of seeping past the dry patches. That is what I'm hoping for, but there's some areas that it seems like it just does not want to blend out very well, especially around the nose. So I'm hoping that a little bit of concealer can kind of help fix that. But the forehead definitely does look a little patchy, a little dry. But like I said, the longer that it sits on the skin, I feel like the more that it's actually soaking into the skin and looking like a second layer of skin rather than sitting on top. My first overall impression on this foundation is it's not bad. I was honestly not expecting as much from this Maybelline foundation. I didn't think that it would do this good of coverage. The skin or the color match was actually really nice, but yeah, it did have some spots that it didn't blend out as well as others. It was almost a little too dry, but overall for the foundation, I'm pretty pleased with it. I am. It gave me better results than I thought. So now I'm just going to pop on the rest of my makeup and we're going to see how it sets with a full face of makeup. Let's see if it does well or if it just doesn't react well with other products. So I'm going to go do that real quick and then I'll be back to do a check-in with you. Okay, so this is the first check-in that I am actually getting to do with this makeup today. I did want to do one before I went to work, but I was running late and I had to scurry out the door so I wasn't late to work. But I am just going to do a recap now. This was the final product with the makeup on. It did blend pretty nicely with other makeup being on the skin. The only problem that I did have was on the forehead. It seemed to really separate once I had put some concealer on there and once I had done a little bit of powder. The bronzer worked really nice with it up here, but for some reason the concealer was just not having it and it just totally wanted to separate out on the forehead. It looked very dry. It clung to the dry patches awful and it just did not look good. As far as the rest of the face goes, down through here looked super nice. Down through here and here looked nice. The overall makeup stayed on pretty well all day. The only breakthrough spots that I had was here on my nose. I don't know if you all can tell how red it is there. I did have my glasses on, so it did break through pretty deep there, and it's starting to kind of break through around here as well. Down to the skin, it did just totally tear apart that foundation. I did do a lot of setting powder there, like I always do because I do wear glasses, but other than that, it has held up pretty nicely. Definitely recommend this foundation right here is the guy that I used. Recommend this for oily skin. Absolutely. On my skin today, I have felt super tight. I have felt very dry and very prune-like, honestly. My face just felt so shriveled up wearing this. And I will say a lot of it was the setting powder that I chose. I particularly don't like this setting powder too much with a lot of foundations. I wanted to give it a go and try something a little different with this foundation. And I used the NYX setting powder. It wasn't awful, but that I think is what made my face feel super dry, because it was in the areas that I did use the setting powder that it felt like that. But the foundation itself in areas that I didn't even set has not, like, it is just now to the point, and I put my makeup on at about 9 o'clock this morning, and it is 6:57. So this is making it totally through work. It's just now starting to look shiny in some spots, like there is oil breaking through. So that right there tells me this is more of a foundation for oily skin types, because the way it sat on my face was a little more on the matte side. It did have nice coverage though, but overall, other than the forehead and the nose area on my skin, it looks really nice, and it stayed very nice throughout the day. I am going to wear it just a little bit longer before I take my makeup off. I'm actually going to go cook dinner and keep it on, and then I'm going to come back after that before I wash my face and give my final thoughts and opinions on this, and then kind of make a verdict on what I say about this foundation, if it's for me or if it's not. But yes, this is the first actual check-in on how this foundation has done. And overall, not terrible, but there is some areas that it could use a little work. So I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to go do some more stuff, and I will be back with my final check-in. Okay, so I'm back with my final check-in on this foundation and giving my verdict on it as to what I think. Overall, with the foundation, I am pretty impressed. I am. The way that it has held up on my face throughout working all day, it is now 9:14. So the last check-in was at almost 7 o'clock. So it's been a couple of hours. I've cooked dinner and I have ate. I've sat around. I've not done too much to change my skin type as far as getting, you know, sweaty, anything like that, any more oil breaking through. It has not changed very much at all. This foundation has held up really nicely. So it's been on for almost 12 hours now, and it looks really good on the skin. Everywhere still looks nice. The only problems that I had with this foundation were the nose and the forehead. Now, I will say the longer that the foundation sat in, the more natural that it did look on the forehead. And I was really pleased with the look because it's not too shiny and it's not very matte anymore. I would definitely change up how I did my nose. I would probably put I would definitely use a different concealer. I did use the NYX concealer today, and I definitely would have used probably my Urban Decay or my Tarte concealer with this foundation. Something that gives me a little bit more coverage and a little bit more radiance, and that would really have helped with my nose area, and I definitely would have done a different setting powder. Changing those two things, I think this foundation could really work for me. That was the only problem that I had, was actually just where I wear glasses, and even down through here. The tip of my nose gets really dry, and then down through here actually too, and I'm always rubbing and wiping my nose. But if I change that, I definitely foresee this foundation working better for me. I did say that it was more for the oily skin type, which I do still agree, but had I changed my concealer and my setting powder, I think that I would have got better results that would have lasted a little bit better and wore a little bit better throughout the day. But other than that, I do really like the foundation. It was very nice, full coverage in my opinion. It did not crease around my eyes too bad. They're just now starting to poke through, but that was something that I noticed all day that looked just super flawless through here. It didn't really break apart. The foundation set nicely. It did, for the absolute most part, work very well with other products. It set nice with the products, and it was, not to mention, it was a really great shade for me. I picked out a really nice color. But as far as everything else, I really do like this foundation, and I think that it was a good pick. I think that it was a good choice, and it's definitely something to keep in mind. But the overall wear test, it held up super nicely. It didn't break any oil through, and it was basically what it claimed to be. And it was the age rewind. It was supposed to make your skin look fresher and younger, and I will say that it did help with a lot of any wrinkles or fine lines on my face and a lot of just imperfections, I guess. The only bad thing was the dry patch that I had up here and part of the nose, but for the most part, it did give me this very overall just kind of porcelain, young, fresh look, and it did what it claimed to do. But with the minor tweaks that I will do next time with this, I think that it is one that I definitely will keep wearing time and time again. So yes, absolutely. This was a good one, and I really enjoyed doing this wear test, and I hope that you all enjoyed it too. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos that I have to post. I would love to see you here. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you all in my next video.